Seen a lot of devastating wildfires here in Colorado. There is always regrowth after, but a new study found the terrain in old burn areas is changing. Meteorologist Alex O'Brien, she joins us live with more on the findings from this Colorado study. Alex.
So this study has suggested that portions of forest fire burn areas may never fully recover. In fact, they'll convert into grasslands. Kyle Rodman, who has a doctorate in geography from CU Boulder, helped lead a study of 22 wildfire burned areas in the Rockies, assessing their recovery.
In general, what we came up with was about 40% of the total area of these fires was not recovering well.
One of those fires being the Hayman Fire, now the second largest in state history.
The Hayman Fire is really interesting because some parts of it are growing back very well, actually. At higher elevations near surviving trees, but there are many places that are not, because some of the patches of treeless areas are tens of thousands of acres. And at least for the foreseeable future, we can expect a lot of those places to remain treeless and probably be a grassland for at least a couple centuries if they recover at all.
After an intense fire, recovery will generally happen from the outside and work its way in. New growth will first occur adjacent to living trees, and they can disperse seeds into burned areas. Growth is also more likely in cooler, wetter zones at higher elevations. In lower and dry spots, there is less likelihood of recovery. A warmer climate may put pressure on this decades-long process.
We expect to see more fire in the future. And if we also see slower or non-existent recovery, you can pretty easily draw that line from more fire happening on the landscape to fewer forests.
That's where the Forest Service comes in.
It's just a tough game for the seedling.
It is their responsibility to reestablish adequate forest through planting.
The seed that we use is actually native tree species that we've actually collected over the years here on our own forest.
Some trees recover better than others. Aspen and oak can regrow from their established root systems, and lodgepole pine need fire to spread seed. On the other hand, ponderosa pine and Douglas fir need live seeds to regrow. The Forest Service is focusing on forest mitigation before a fire to rely less on replanting afterwards.
That will help us in the long term as we look at trying to keep up with the planting needs to be able to have that reduction in forest fires equaling reforestation needs.
The loss of forests and conversion to grassland ecosystems, like grasslands, certainly have a lot of benefits as well. But they're going to look different, right? And that's something that I think in Colorado, a lot of us are going to have to adjust to and sort of get familiar with in those kinds of places.
And I did ask Kyle about the Black Forest Fire and the Waldo Canyon Fire, where I'm at right now, and he said they did not include them in their study because they're a little too young yet. But he did suggest that both will recover at least okay, but the Waldo Canyon Fire will have more difficulty due to steep terrain and some higher intensity burn areas. Always watching out for you, Southern Colorado. I'm meteorologist Alex O'Brien, News 5.